From a legal perspective, what we would call this is likelihood of confusion. This is a major part of trademark law. When you have two companies that are involved in similar markets that are using identifiers or brands that can be confused with one another, you end up with likelihood of confusion. And so the junior person is usually held to be infringing, assuming the mark is valid in the first place. So in this situation, in the polar bear situation, what would happen is Coca-Cola would presumably be able to enjoin you and then get damages from you because you were trying to sell your knockoff soda using their favorite animal.
Yeah.
Which is why I always use seals for my sodas.
Exactly.
I always trust the seals.
Yeah.
But for example, though, if she's looking for that same type of thing and she is not in the carbonated soda space, maybe not in the drink space at all, but instead she is promoting necktie, scarves, and that type of thing, that might be very different. So yeah, it does go down to what industry you're in as well. You can explore a number of different options there. The thing we have noticed as attorneys, regular people, no one wants to look like they don't know anything. They probably did some quick research before they paid someone. We understand that. But when you interact with your attorneys, and this is probably true with a lot of professionals, if you interact with them, they want to actually know and understand what you know, what you understand. And it's not like we're doctors that don't like you using WebMD. We're saying if you go there and you get some type of understanding, that's awesome. But go ahead and communicate with us directly. Some of us are great with lawyer speak, and some of us only know what objection means. But we want to understand what exactly you understand and how you're doing it. So if you go to ChatGPT or something like that, there's no need to do that to interact with us in emails or calls. And actually, I think that's one of the great things about our firm as well, right?
If you're using AI as like another, let's call it a personality filter, the way you might use a photo, you're not going to get the feedback you want from the person you're paying. And that's definitely true for lawyers. It's probably true for most other professionals, as you mentioned. I'm sure if you went to your doctor and you presented as though you yourself had some sort of like advanced degree in biology, and you didn't know your rear end from your elbow, you wouldn't be getting clear advice from your doctor because they would be speaking to you at the wrong level. It'd be too detailed. It wouldn't be practical enough.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely one of the advantages of having a professional in your pocket. There are some times when it just doesn't help you as much.
Yeah, it gets in the way.
Yeah.
I think my favorite example of this right now is AI is going to give you a response that you want. So the information that you feed AI and the prompt that you feed AI and general understanding, you're going to get what it thinks you want to hear.
I think we actually do bring a lot of value to our clients, and much of that value, so we just talked about, is understanding them and what they actually care about and need. And when, even if you, for example, could win this, it's not great for your bottom line as a business or what's going to give you some closure. Those are human elements, and those are things that we actually bring. I do not know anything about this particular AI attorney, so I will not malign him. But seriously, I think there are a lot of great experiments you can do out there. Maybe at one point we'll have a bunch of lawyers that are just great at doing the necessary research and answering that and writing whatever it is, but they're still not necessarily going to understand you or want to give you honest feedback and say, no, I'm sorry, man, I am completely in your corner and this is a bad idea.
So one of the biggest things with AI attorneys, this New York court, there's been recent Colorado decisions where an entire firm ended up getting in trouble because they submitted too many things with fake cases from AI. There are actually AI legal tools out there. It's not available to everyone, they're quite expensive right now. They'll probably become more common. But even with those tools, it'll give you real case law, but it won't interpret it correctly, or it'll be something that's outdated. It'll give you something from 1928. And so here's the thing that you needed to say in 1928. And I'm like, I need it to say it in 2025. And it turns out the law has done a lot of things since 1928. So, that's where we're at with that kind of standpoint. So it's still, there's a huge human factor with the legal process where it's understanding how all these factors work that AI just isn't quite there yet. It can read the articles, it can read the case law. It's not too good yet at understanding how the legal system itself works, is what I'm finding with a lot of those AI tools. I will also say, yeah, I think it's interesting how a lot of times we use AI a lot to help with grammar check. Like Grammarly is a huge AI tool, but it's there to help you with writing. It's not changing the basis of what you wrote, and it's not changing the basis of law that you wrote. So you see, like, yeah, you can use AI in law, but a full AI attorney, we're not there. It happens because it's like we have these tools, it's accessible to everyone. Everyone's always looking for cost saving, this guy did not know law. So he got found out, I think, pretty quickly because it was like he didn't know how to address the court and then started citing law that was wrong. So the judge found out pretty quickly.
And that may be the practical issue is we all have bar cards. And what that fundamentally is, I think people love to think that if you have a bar card, it automatically means you're competent as a lawyer. I think we've all dealt with people who have made us question that premise. But what it does mean is that you're giving an authority the ability to take something away from you, the ability to practice law. They have a certain level of veto over your ability to go out and do things. And a machine doesn't have that.
Skin in the game.
Yeah, right. No skin in the game,
Yeah.
no tether, no leash. For all of the fantastical concerns about AI taking over and robots ruling us and whatever, if you don't have the people who are telling you what the rules are beholden to some sort of feedback system.
I think we've also seen it, like, we've been looking at new tools and, for example, a huge cost in legal is discovery.
Yeah.
And even then, there's so many rules that go into doing one item that you're not quite seeing these machine learning tools able to grasp it all, just like you don't see sometimes attorneys grasp it all.
Yeah.
But it's also the idea of an attorney will make an argument for your benefit, and AI will just spit out what you want it to do. And I think that people-pleasing aspects, if they can't get rid of that, then you're not really gonna have the same quality that someone who's trained to look at something and be like, I need to make the best argument for you, and that may not necessarily be the thing that you wanna hear.
There's a cultural piece to this too, because I think people who've engaged in, companies that have engaged in litigation throughout the country or throughout the world will know that there's a benefit to having a lawyer who doesn't just know the academic printed law in a particular jurisdiction, but who has actually practiced in before a particular judge, or at least in a particular region, knows what the legal culture is like, and knows what not to say, as well as what one could say. There's always going to be benefits to boots on the ground, having a lawyer who knows where to park to go to that hearing, who knows the clerk, who understands how things have changed recently before a particular judge. Those things have real value. It's a little disconcerting to think of other advocates being out there who don't have to worry about that because they're faceless. We don't have people, again, who have skin in the game, a reputation to uphold, a bar card to hold on to. It'll have knock-on consequences, not just for the profession, but again, we're a nation of laws, and if the people who are telling you what the laws are and arguing for them are unpredictable or aren't controllable, that's a problem. I can imagine a world in which judges use AI more aggressively to understand some of the issues that are novel to them. That would be great. I do think there's something to be said for a judge being beholden to the people who've either elected them or appointed them, and having again that long-term reputation, that long-term character that's in play.
Yeah, I take a little different stance on this, maybe a little like philosopher, political science type thing. But I think people are looking to other people to actually make different rulings, and to know that those people can be understanding about what it is. You can get up in front of a judge, and I've had to do this, and argue about how someone has very clearly violated the law, for example, in criminal standpoints. And it is one thing to have a machine that says clearly, excellent, check 1, 2, 3, all covered, and says your sentence as follows, as opposed to a person that can say, all right, that's bad. But I also understand your situation. I understand you being there. It is very apparent from what we can see of you that you regretted, that you did this, that you were suffering in other ways. And those are things that maybe AI will one day be able to do. But even if it could, I don't think that humans will ever naturally go and feel that sense of empathy that's necessary. And frankly, I hope they don't. Because it, not just for our profession, but I think it says something about these people are us, ruling ourselves in a democracy, and sometimes even in places that aren't very democratic, but it still is a form of us ruling ourselves and deciding what should happen.
It's probably the least powerful of them, but we have the subscription one for a Copilot for 365. I actually really like it for summarizing the incredible number of messages, chats, and emails I get in a day, and to wind a thread to that and get it to me, give me some action out of it. That's really useful. Also, it's gotten me past and this has been years now, not just AI, but other tools that are related to it. I used to compulsively try to organize my emails and process each one individually. Leaving them unprocessed and asking the machine to run a check through them to answer a particular question is actually really useful. So it's liberating from that perspective.
But yeah.
I like it.
Anyway, yeah, thank you guys.